and we are back with session 34A. The recap for last session was that everybody had fallen asleep in this kitchen slash campsite building that you're all in right now, in a compound in Omu, where it looks like Yuanti had massacred a bunch of red wizards, and then you all woke up in a weird dreamscape where you met some creepy ladies, solved some creepy puzzles, and right as it seemed like they were pouring molten metal over your head, you all woke up, and that is where we are now. I guess point of order, there is a man who you guys rescued 2 sessions ago, just kind of sitting on a cot in the corner, kind of notices all of you waking up. From a metagame perspective, I was gonna put the other group here, but nobody talked to anybody, so I might just ignore that for now. So they're on the map, but yeah, I don't know if we're gonna actually use them. So you all wake up in this building from this weird nightmare, and you are in this room. Questions, comments, any other things?
Just a comment here. Can I get a second zombie? Just because my class ability gives me 2.
Oh yeah, probably. It's that. Oh, is that the undead thralls?
Kind of.
Sure, let's copy Zambino. What name do you want for your second zombie?
Is it Boogafu or something?
I'm not sure I caught that, but I'm gonna write something. And
I'm just. Yeah,
what's up, Rio?
never mind.
That's kind of what I think I heard you say, so there it is. I have no idea if that's what you said, but we can change it whenever. So yeah.
Well, I wake up and I just comment like I had the craziest dream. I have no idea. I've never had a dream like that before. Did anyone else have like?
I kind of look at you, go, huh? Yeah. So you had a dream? Okay. And I don't let on that I remember it.
She says, I do feel like shit. Like someone just racked my mind with 1,000 knives.
And the guy on the cot walks over. This is the guy that you guys had rescued a while back, and Iku is also hanging out here. And the guy that you had rescued says, well, you would feel bad. You've been sleeping for about a week. All of you. Yes, your friend Iku here, we've had many uneventful days while you were all sleeping on your cots, but thank you for rescuing me. My name is Orvex, and I am in your debt.
we all collectively slept for 1 week? I ask him. I guess I'm like confused.
Uh, well, it has been 5 days since I regained consciousness. And Iku has informed me that I was out for about a day before that, so you all haven't moved in that entire time.
Well, then I'm gonna tell everyone what my dream was about, just because that seems like an odd coincidence, and like hoping that somebody else, had a similar dream.
He's gonna like bird blink to that guy and then just like walk out.
He is a man of as few words awake as when he is sleeping. So, Orvex looks at you all, says, so, if I may be so bold as to inquire what brought you to this encampment in Omu? We're in a out-of-the-way location here.
Well, I came here mainly for the exploration of ruins. And so far, I haven't been disappointed. There's lots of ruins.
Ah, have you explored other ruins?
Yeah, you could say it was quite ruinous.
Oh, I see wordplay. A sign of an intelligent or feeble mind. I will decide which later. Do any of you, what are your plans to continue from here? I seem to no longer have my employers, so I'm curious to know where you are planning on going next.
I'm just kind of tagging around with these other folks. I ran into them a week and a half ago now, and I was just exploring on my own, and obviously there's a bit of danger here, so I've been, picked up with the group. So I really don't know. I'm just kind of following somebody else's lead for now.
Well, we've had plans to move further into this ruined city, but well, hopefully things haven't changed despite being so unconscious for an entire week. Oh, we've lost so much time.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like I slept at all.
She walks out and orders the zombies to follow her outside.
They follow you. Oh hey, look, there's Yaza. Why do I have 2 Yaza tokens? This is confusing. Let's get rid of one of those.
Imposter!
You'll also notice at this point, as the two of you walk outside, the guide that Yaza had hired, Salida, she appears to be just gone. And Iku will follow out, and Orvex, kind of noticing that everybody's leaving the room, just kind of tags along behind, kind of nervously looking around.
So, sir, you said that your employers are no more. I take it that's these bodies here, eh?
Many of them, yes. Some of my employers, I'm assuming, fled because I do not see their distinctive garb amongst some of these corpses. And he kind of walks over and
what's
goes,
your specialty?
I am a scholar and a scribe, and also a translator of some texts. These wizards had hired me to try and help decipher some of the work in this city.
Well, are you still for hire since you seem to be out of a job currently?
He kind of pans his view around the now, well, no longer burning ruins, but just kind of. Or did we lose Joe?
My browser crashed.
Oh, okay. He kind of looks around and says, "Well, I doubt I will be receiving any further compensation from the Thayans, so I am more than happy to accompany you. I must
Well,
say,
what do you charge? Because I could definitely use an assistant for my archaeological studies and a scribe. Well, we all know how beneficial that is. Plus a translator. Like, that's right up kind of, I could use a good assistant.
and he kind of blanches a little bit as he's trying to figure out what to say and says, my usual rate is $5 a day plus $5. Sorry.
What's a dollar? I don't understand this denomination of currency.
Five gold pieces a day, and supplies, lodging, food, etc. But I'm open to negotiations at this point.
How about, because I don't know how long we're going to be here, and obviously funds are currently limited until we can get back to a city and I can talk to the bank. How about I give you 20 gold to start with, and you stick with us until we leave the ruins, and we can negotiate further after the fact.
And again, he looks around all the dead bodies and everything and says, yes, that seems to be a most agreeable arrangement for the time being. Yes, I would be glad to accept your terms.
I give him 20 gold.
He takes it.
I have a hireling. Do-da, do-da.
What could possibly go wrong?
I have a list.
It has percentiles and everything. And so this Orvik says, well, I feel I must, as due diligence, request of you, what do you know of Omu? Do you know anything of this city? What brings you here? Because if we're going deeper, maybe I can assist you or provide you information based on.
I tell him what I know in character, and it is exactly what I know.
So, like, not much.
Sure, that.
And he kind of he looks to the other members of the group.
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
Wow. Yeah, you don't know shit. I don't know if we actually established much backstory for you, so oops on my end.
I forgot about that.
But Teddy or Teresa or Rio, do you want to share anything with Orvex or?
Teresa will say that we're here for, well, some of us are here for research. Others are here to purge the unclean. You know, the usual grift.
Are you also looking for the soulmonger device or machine that my employers were looking for?
Yes.
Well, as far as information about this monger device, I am afraid I am, as they say, fresh out of information. I was able to piece together perhaps part of the puzzle for how you could access the tomb in which it is stored, and that is by solving each of the 9 shrines of Omu's trickster gods. Have you encountered any of these to this point?
Kellic will just say 1.
We destroyed it.
You destroyed the cube or the shrine, or I would be. That could be bad if you have destroyed the cube.
Was it a cube? I don't recall.
Somebody has it. I don't know who has it, but somebody in the party has it.
Me.
Oh, you have it, Kilbeth?
Said it's not me.
Oh.
I wasn't even here for that.
That was the cube after all the gladiators. I'm assuming somebody did grab it. I don't know who though.
I don't have it.
I don't have it. I think that was our paladin.
We have two. I'm assuming it was Sebastian took it.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was Sebastian.
And Sebastian follows on and says, "Ah, yes, I took that cube from that. I can't roleplay Sebastian right now. I don't know what I'm doing. Sebastian has it. Yay!
Did Argo good with pizza?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I could do a Sebastian, but it fell apart like midway through. I'm trying to switch from.
I feel like Midway was generous.
Yeah, whatever. It's easier to play Arm and you, okay? Okay. And Orvex kind of looks relieved when Sebastian indicates that he has the puzzle cube, and he says, "Well, there are 8 more shrines. But it's worth noting that my employers are also trying to, or my former employers," and he kind of deferentially nods to you, Kilbeth. "The wizards will also be looking for cubes. They're aware that each shrine has one, and each shrine is a puzzle. So if you're seeking entry to the tomb, obtaining all 9 cubes is, I believe, a requirement."
Well then, we should go look for another. Fuck, I was yawning. That sounded more erotic than I intended.
I mean, it was better than my Sebastian impression, so there you go.
I'll just look at him and say, "Does that mean we need to kill your former bosses?"
He kind of tilts his head to the side and says, "That seems like it may be a likely possibility. They're not always the friendliest of negotiators."
I'll just calmly bird blink at him and give a mild nod and then start wandering off.
As a reminder, because I think this was a couple months ago at this point, you guys did run into at least one group. Well, you ran into one group of red wizards a while back. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but that was the first session Alex was in.
Nope, I don't remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, so Teresa, Kellic, you guys have encountered one group. Just to do a quick refresher so that you guys know. That group
They told
was...
us about the stones, didn't they? Or like the pillars?
Huh?
Did they tell us about the pillars? All they said was like, avoid the pillars in the forest.
Oh, yeah. That was part of it, yeah. That was the group led by Evlona. There was Evlona, 2 other female Thans, and 2 male Thans. They all have names, but I can't remember if you guys ever got names for them.
I don't think we did. We were pretty terse.
They are. They're Thans. Not exactly.
I was saying we were.
Well, I think everybody was terse. It was, yeah. So yeah, you met Evlona, and you know that they were looking for the Soulmonger. So yeah, there's just a reminder. Okay, so Kellic, you're wandering off. Does anybody else want to do anything here?
No, I just recast. Can't remember the spell. My head hurts. I just recast my spell to refresh my 2 zombies.
Okay, let's see. That's probably... I don't even know. Is that animate dead?
Yes.
Cool. I'll just tick 1 level for you, because is that ritual castable?
No. Mm-mm.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so that just takes that one spell slot. Okay. Um. Cool. So let me pop us over to the Omu map then, I guess. As soon as I can find it on my crazy list of maps. There it is. It was hidden. Woo. So you guys, well, I guess let me know when it loads. Hopefully this one won't take too long, but we'll see. Is anybody getting anything yet?
Nope, it's still at 50%.
I'm at
Okay.
Yeah, it's still
40%.
I forgot to preload. I apologize.
I would say it's okay, but I'm not that dishonest.
But screw you! I'm going to preload the next map, though. How about that?
Okay.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
how can you tell when a joke has become a dad joke?
When I tell it.
When the punchline becomes apparent.
What the fuck was that?
I was laughing. No, was that not obvious?
Jesus, never do it again.
So this may only make sense to two people here, but they just did kids photos at my kids' daycare, and they did family photos. And so it's the photo of my youngest and my middleest daughter, and my middle daughter.
I was just laughing at that middleist daughter.
Middleest daughter?
The most middlesome.
Yeah, my middleest daughter is horrible at while we wait for this to load, I'm going to turn my camera on, so if anybody wants to see what this looks like, I'm going to do my impression of what she does. Oh, this might not work, will it? Because I'm trying to upload at the same time as do everything else. We'll see.
Well, it finished loading for me.
Okay, well, so she does this horrible thing where she either glowers at you like a horror movie child, or she does this hideous fake smile that looks like somebody just stabbed her. And
like she does it in person all the time.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like when you
Yeah.
say, Lily, smile, and she's just like, eh.
Fuck off, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, so all of the
Don't
photos,
tell me what to do with my life.
all of the photos are of her doing that face, one of those two faces, and my 1-year-old just kind of staring at the camera as if she's drunk. And this is what they sent this back to us, like, buy pictures, and I'm like, really?
He was like, lol, no.
Well, we're probably going to buy them so that we can show them to people they date when they're older. Parenting. Okay, cool. Is anybody not loaded? Fun segue about my kids.
I'm in.
I'm loaded.
How can you tell I'm a dad? Don't worry, you'll know.
It
like
probably has something to do with all the dad jokes.
It's like CrossFit and veganism, right? You'll know.
If you meet a vegan that does CrossFit, which one are they going to tell you about first?
Oof. That's tough. Depends if you're eating a burger or not. So we have the overland map of Omu. You guys are kind of backwards a little bit, I guess, towards the, you're probably back at the road, which is slightly east of the number 2 on the map. It's the giant road that runs north-south through the whole city. Assuming you go out that way. The walls of this compound have also been cracked, so if you wanted to, you could, in theory, make your way out in any other direction. You're just going into really thick jungle. So the question is, where do you guys want to go?
So did we? I would say go back towards the road and then head north. That's just me.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever you guys choose.
Are there any other like do we know of any other points of interest along this road, or are we just like I can't remember if we're just kind of going into this without any knowledge of the city.
So you guys don't really know anything about Omu, beyond the fact that it exists, and you also know that there is a thing called the Tomb of the Nine Gods under it. That's from the sage in Orlunga, which was many, many moons ago at this point. So you now know that there are at least 9 shrines here. I will say, on the map as it's drawn, this is a really weird thing. Because I know where they are, it is obvious to me where the shrines are. But as somebody who doesn't know where they are, let me rephrase that sentence. The shrines on this map are drawn slightly differently, and I would say if you're like walking around, there are certain buildings that look slightly different that are probably worth investigating, that are the various shrines. But as far as detailed information of the city itself, I don't think you guys really know anything at this point.
Okay, I gotta.
And we've only
My head's killing me, and I'm starting to like. I gotta go find something for my tooth, so I gotta drop. I'm sorry.
Okay. Have a good night, man.
So we've only done one shrine.
So you did. So the number 4 is the shrine to Shagambi, and you guys did that.
All right. Building to the left seems different. If anyone is interested in just checking it out before, like if it's nothing, then we just go back to the road and keep moving.
I'm assuming they're the small walled-in structures like this one, potentially this one, maybe this one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not going to tell you that all of those are correct, but all of those are not wrong. How's that for an answer?
Thanks for a completely different or completely useless pointer. Thanks. Now that I have a feeling that's going to be one way to look at them. Obviously, the one in the middle of the lava pit is definitely one. At least I feel like that should be obvious.
I mean,
yeah.
Who would design that and put it on a map if it wasn't important?
I mean, but would you? So
an
is
Eve player.
left walled in? Never mind.
So I guess you can just tell me where you want to go. I'm not super concerned about rolling a bunch of random encounters and crap here. It's more just like where you guys want to go. That kind of sets the tone, because there's a ton of stuff in this city, or in all these ruins, and basically where you go kind of. This is like a mini hex crawl or a mini choose your own adventure, right? So it's just pretty much where you want to go in the city, which buildings you think look like they might be interesting, let me know. And
this one behind this compound actually looks interesting to me as well.
So I think that's
also the closest.
2 votes for that one, I think. Teresa, are you opposed to going to that at all?
I'm going to go with a no.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to top off my drink and make sure that that is preloaded, and then we will go there. Horrible DMing. I just basically said that that's a thing, didn't I? God damn it. Me so good at running games. Ooh,
I are much good.
yeah. Oh, hello. One sec.
Hi.
Okay, there was a surprise family in the kitchen. That usually doesn't happen this late at night.
Surprise.
Yeah. There we go. So you guys walk up to that walled compound, or that walled area. There's a rectangular pool of murky water in front of vine-draped shrine, which is the building kind of to the north here that's surrounded by a wall, and through the wall you can see some doors, or a pair of stone doors. There's a toppled monolith in the middle of that pool that would kind of form stepping stones, and there is a statue of a stone frog in the middle of the pool rising above the water.
Frog?
Frog, yes.
Oh.
And as you guys approach, Orvex goes, I believe that this may be the shrine of Kubazan, the frog god.
Okay. Can I do like a history check to see if I know anything about Kubazan? Or
I mean, you don't.
all right,
is
cool.
pretty much it. Like, I mean, I don't think you would have any way of knowing anything about anything here. To be blunt.
I want to look to see if there's anything in the water, like anything moving.
Yeah, you definitely notice there's an eyestalk peeking up out of the pond. The water is very murky, but there's definitely an eyestalk kind of over in this southeast corner, and the eyestalk is watching you guys.
Can I do an insight roll to see if it seems like curious or like defensive or aggressive?
Yeah, sure. So with that roll, you definitely get the feeling that you are being watched by something that is a predator. Yeah, I mean it's just an eye on a stalk, so I don't. But you get a definite sense that whatever is watching you with intent to decipher if you are
Edible or not?
Yeah, or if you're worth trying to eat or not.
I feel like it's like the ultimate stare down, a giant bird versus a thing that keeps looking at you. It's just like two.
Can I shoot at the eye and see if I can hit it?
Um, yeah, you can. I'm gonna I'm just gonna take 1 second and warn you that like if you shoot at it, it's going to react. But yeah. Let's see here. A 16 will certainly hit. That'll do 10 damage. So let me record that. Yeah, so you shoot the stalk and the stalk zips down beneath the water with the arrow kind of stuck in it. And you see kind of movement as something under the water moves around, kind of headed to the north side of the pool.
Okay. It's going the right direction because the whole idea was to kind of try and scare it away.
Okay. And some little bubbles kind of follow as it goes through. And at this point, Orvex kind of goes, uh, are any of you familiar with any of the legends of the gods here in Omu?
No, not at all.
Would you like me to tell you the legend of this particular one?
Sure. Seems like we would have been good to know this beforehand.
Um, well, I will give you the abridged version. The full story contains all of the trickster gods that the Amuans worshipped, but in this case, most of the stories come in a pair, and for this one, there was an Eblis, a giant bird that had lived in a reed hut, and he was a god that didn't like the Omuans, but without them he had no one to play tricks on, so he sent a marsh frog to reason with Ubteo, but that frog was angry and it decided to wrestle with the god instead. Surprisingly, this amused Ubteo, so he gave the frog tentacles to make it stronger. When Kubazan, the frog-hemoth, returned to the Eblis, he chased it out of the swamp with his new tentacles. I wonder if you have maybe just shot something related to that frog-hemoth?
Kelly just shrugs and gestures that we should keep going.
Cool. So, to give some context, this pool, it's about a 5-foot drop down. You could probably hop, skip, and jump across it if you wanted to, using the ruins of the monolith and the statue and the other broken bits of wood pathway that have kind of fallen apart. You can also go around. Just kind of have to decide what you would like to do.
I guess I would prefer to go around now that there's something potentially ominous in the water. I don't know how everyone else feels.
Kelly just shrugs and goes along with you.
You might have a challenge trying to go straight through the pillar.
So is anything happening, or like it's all good?
I mean, you're walking around the pool right now.
Yeah.
I guess Iku will also follow, as will Orvix. So yeah, as you come up to the north area, there's a kind of like a 3 or 4 foot high wall that has parts that have crumbled that surrounds the squat building inside. And you're peeking through one of those broken wall segments now.
Can I just roll like detect magic just to see if there's anything going on?
You can cast Detect Magic.
Oh, yeah, cast it.
Wrong system. Yeah, you can cast Detect Magic if you want. I think that's either a ritual or a first level spell slot.
Yeah, it's automatic. I think it's an automatic for me. Like it's a given. It's a part of. It's a skill.
Is that a Furbolg feature?
Yeah, yeah.
You can cast it once per short or long rest.
For innate spell casting.
So Furbolg magic, you can cast Detect Magic and Disguise Self with this trait using Wisdom. Once you cast either spell, you cannot cast it again with this trait until you finish a short or long rest.
That's fine.
Okay. So you want to detect magic within 30 feet. Let me just get a ruler real quick and see where 30 feet is. That's 30 feet. Good job. Better at the system than I am. From where you are, you detect no magic. Besides, Kellick's got some magic items on him, you have some magic items on you, and Iku is fundamentally kind of magical. But nothing that you detect is new. You don't detect anything in you don't detect anything else besides stuff you would have already expected.
Okay. All right.
Let's see, as you come around, I'm gonna have wrong controls. Bring you around. Okay, so as you come around the corner, kind of through the brush there, you can see that something. Well, from here you can see that there is a pair of heavy stone doors, kind of up ahead into the building, and they appear to be shut, and something is carved into the lintel above the stones.
Can I like actually read what's carved into it, or do I have to get closer?
What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, Giant, Primordial, and Cholton, Amuan.
Oh, you said you speak Ambience? Okay, cool.
So,
Yeah, you can read it then. So carved into the lintel above the door, it says in Old Amuan, Kubazan urges us to take tread without fear and to give back as much as we take. So to read that again, Kubazan urges us to take tread without fear and to give back as much as we take.
okay. I don't. Teddy reads it and he's like, interesting. And then just keeps moving forward. Like, not very ominous, and he keeps moving.
Okay. Do you try to open the door, or what are you doing?
Is anyone else like following behind me, or am I just kind of like? I guess I look back to see what's happening, and then yeah, I'll try and open the door.
It is locked. Let's see here. So yeah, there is a obvious keyhole in the door, and it appears that this door is locked.
Okay. Probably have to go into the pond to get the key somehow, I imagine.
What kind of door is it?
Two heavy stone doors about 5 feet wide and about 10 feet tall. So it's a double door.
You think I could cast shatter on it?
That's interesting. Let me look at what shatter does. Shatter. I can say words.
Don't worry, I had the same thing.
3d8 thunder damage. So it does 3d8 thunder damage. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I have to look something up real quick. Cool. Okay. I have some numbers now. Yeah, so if you want to cast Shatter on the door, you can certainly do that. Sorry, I was just looking
That's
stuff
alright.
up.
So, Teresa suggests doing just that, unless you guys have a way to unlock doors.
Um.
Is that an
So it's a stone wall.
So there's a pair of stone doors. They're about 5 feet
Alright.
wide, 10 feet tall, that are locked in front of you. Yeah. And so I think what?
Could I have this stone shape spell where I can make a I can do anything I want with like a 5 feet by 5 feet section of stone, or I can like I can shape it into anything, or like make a hole through it. Is it possible to do that?
I mean, you can try it and see what happens.
I'm gonna try it.
Okay, let's see. So you cast Stone Shape. So are you telling Teresa to hold up and let you try to Stone Shape before she casts Shatter?
Yeah. I want to see. I just want to see if it works.
You touch a stone object of medium size or smaller, or a section of stone no more than 5 feet in. Oh. Let's see here. You know, I don't care. I think that's a creative use. I think technically this shouldn't work by the wording of the spell, but I like the approach. So I'm going to say you can make a small hole in the doorway that's large enough for one person at a time to crawl through.
Yeah.
How long does this last?
I think it just makes a hole.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like permanent.
Okay, cool. I like that solution. So I'm going to say that it works this time. I'm not saying that that's necessarily precedent ever in the future.
Well, I think it's saying like if it was 6 feet thick, I wouldn't be able to do it. But if it's not 5 feet thick, like 5 feet in any dimension I read is like when they say make a small passage. What am I going to make a small passage through just a 5 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot block of wood? Like that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that?
I'm just saying all I'm saying is I'm going to let it go right now, but I'm not setting this as precedent. That's
Okay,
all. That's all. Like I don't want to get bogged down in a rules debate about this. I think it's a cool solution, so I'm going to let it fly. But yeah, so you can see through that little aperture you have made in the door. You can kind of see beyond mostly a dimly lit room. or a dimly lit space with some stairs leading down beyond the door. Oh,
Sweet.
wait, you went in there? Okay, hold on.
Well, that was an accident for sure. I'm
No,
gonna go in.
I'm gonna put you right there. So I'm gonna say you crawl through, and as you crawl through the doorway, you see steps descending onto a ledge overlooking a pit of sharpened stakes. So all of those little circles in the middle of that space, those are sharp stakes sticking up out of the ground. Did you drop, Teresa?
No, I'm trying to refresh because I'm like,
okay.
what map are you guys looking at?
Oh, I think you're still down at the bottom. Did you see the map with the pond and everything load in?
No, I was on the Omen map.
Weird. Okay. Give it 1 second to see if
I had to
refreshing works.
refresh.
Okay, well, I will come in right behind him.
Sure. I'll give the description, Teresa. Hopefully, once you load in, this will make sense. So you guys have crawled through. You're on a little ledge overlooking a pit of sharpened stakes. Teresa, everybody's on the. Can you see yourself on the map now? Yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna bring your zombies up behind you.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna open that door, and I'm gonna put you right there, just for the sake of making life easier. So this room it's a pit of sharpened stakes. There's an alcove on the far wall holding a pedestal with a stone cube resting upon it. There's a relief carved into the back of the alcove showing a monstrous frog with tentacles fighting a crane, or an eblis. Teresa, to you, this looks very much like that creature that you hired from Zalcore. And I don't think we ever actually dealt with. Did you pay that eblis?
Before we left the Medusa, I did give her like tribute or something, and then I asked her to borrow the bird.
Yeah. I'll say the bird, because I think you paid like half up front.
Yeah.
And I'll say that when you guys got to Omu, the bird basically just kind of like pecked at you until you gave it some more gems, and then it flew off. Just because it fulfilled its end of the bargain. Sorry, I'm just setting up my loop. There we go. So you see there's a monstrous frog fighting basically that eblis creature that is all over Zalcore's garden. Around the room, there are wooden beams sticking out of the walls at about floor-foot height. They're each about 4 feet apart. So each of these beams is about 4 feet apart all along the wall. Does that description make sense for you guys?
Yeah.
And then there are carved frog heads lining the walls above these beams. And so Orvex kind of comes up behind you guys and goes and says, "This is fascinating. It is almost as if it is a study in bravery and mortality combined into one singular space. It's almost breathtaking in its depressing desperation." And he opens up a notebook and starts scribbling in it.
Did I recognize? Well, actually, can I do like a religion check on the frog tentacle thing?
You can. Yeah, you can.
Okay, sure.
Hey, Lily, come on. You gotta go up to bed, babe. I'm sorry, 1 second. Okay, sorry. 18 religion, and you're doing that on the sculpture in the back. or the relief on the back wall. Sorry.
Yes.
So Orvex, seeing you studying that, I'm gonna say kind of helps explain it to you a little bit, and says, I believe that this is the same. It is an illustration of the story of Kubazan, the frog hemoth, fighting Papazatl. Papazatl being the bird trickster god. I think based on the motifs in here that this is the shrine of Kubazan, the frog hemoth. I'm uncertain beyond the legend why the Eblis would be here, why Papazotl would be here. I'm giving you that from Orvex because I don't think any of your characters would have any way of actually knowing the religion here. But yeah.
I don't think so. So the bird creature, we met a Medusa that kept several of these as pets.
That is fascinating. I have not seen one in person. I do not know if these gods of legend were real or if these are simply animistic depictions of these gods, but if we ever make it out of here alive, I would love to see one of these Elblisses in person.
Well, at first I thought that maybe the birds that we found were what the druids call awakened, but they did not seem that way. They served the Medusa who called herself a queen of this city, and she allowed one of her bird pets to follow us and to guide us down as far as we can before we had to part ways.
And Orvex with his charcoal pen is furiously scribbling notes and said, "You have met Zalcore? Is this what you are telling me?"
Yes.
She was most certainly a former queen of Omu. That is most fascinating news. This is exciting for me. I'm sorry. I am overwhelmed with emotion at this point. I must write this down. If we ever leave this place, I implore you to take me to visit her. You said she is a Medusa now?
Now? This Zelkori, who fashions herself a queen, she is very much a Medusa.
Fascinating. This is most fascinating. It is always interesting when legends turn out to be closer to the truth than a fiction. And he's just like furiously scribbling notes in his journal right now.
I'm looking at the stakes to see if they could potentially be like tentacles, like if they could act as like, moving up or something if I were to say fly across.
So the stakes look to be firmly fixed wooden stakes in the ground, or the stone bottom of this pit. Let me see here. Does it say how deep this pit is? So the pit's about 30 feet deep. Those spikes do look to be just sharpened wooden stakes a la Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, you don't notice anything. You don't perceive anything weird here beyond some jerk made a giant room full of... They made a room with a pit in it full of stakes and some creaky looking boards all around the edge.
Interesting. Okay, well, Teresa, did you have something else you wanted to do?
Well, I did want to ask what was she supposed to be?
You mean the Queen Zalcore? Uh, she was the queen of Omu uh, about 150 to 200 years ago. Um, my research is inconclusive as to what has happened to her since she was exiled. I had read that there were legends that she had been transformed in some way, so if you have in fact met a Medusa claiming to be Zalcore, that is um, a fascinating confirmation of legend. Um, this is just so exciting for me.
She seemed to be in a compromised position despite being a Medusa. She lived in a ruined garden, surrounded by her bird servants, and she told us that she had been exiled from this place. And she left us with a request to kill her daughter if we saw her.
A daughter? Oh, this is. I mean, I am assuming if she had a daughter, she would be dead by now, but this is. I am. This is. I don't know what to tell you. This is most fascinating. And he's just scribbling your. He's basically just like pouring down stuff into his notebook. Um, you almost get the sense that he's overwhelmed by like the fact that this man who's a researcher and a translator has just gotten from you like firsthand confirmation of a whole bunch of legends and rumors. This is almost like the scene in Indiana Jones where Sean Connery's like, "It's true, it's all true," like that, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's just overwhelmed by this and excited by it. So
Well,
go ahead.
sorry. Well, she's going to say, well, if this is all myths and legends for this land, well, I do hope that we can get some kind of physical compensation for this some way or another. Perhaps, maybe the Zalcore left something behind in Omu?
So Orvex stopped scribbling, kind of. He was half paying attention to you, and your words kind of broke through his fugue state of writing notes, and he goes, I believe there are legends of, or rumors of there being artifacts of value either within Omu itself or within the tomb underneath. Perhaps we could discuss that once we are not in such an inhospitable location. And he kind of gestures towards the spikes and the pond behind the door.
Of course, of course.
Maybe perhaps the next time we take a break or camp or something like that, I could go through my notes and discuss with you what artifacts of value I have heard of here.
I think that we should definitely sit down and have a long chat about that. Not right now. And she looks toward the pit of spikes.
Well, I will leave you to it. I'm going to step back to give you room to investigate this fascinating puzzle. And Orvex kind of crawls out the door. At the same time, Iku kind of peeks in for a second and says, I couldn't help overhearing parts of your discussion. These trickster gods were real. I know that much. Details beyond that, I can't really... I don't know much more than that. I didn't spend much time in Omu when they were worshipping these these animal gods, but I do know that they had some power in the area, so beware of that. And then Iku kind of backs out to continue watching from outside. She's mostly taking a pretty protective stance right now as you guys are exploring this place.
Well then, what should we do? Should I send one of my Zambinos across the pit?
I just look at everyone and kind of like flap my wings and look back over there.
I like the idea of sending a zombie out to do it.
Kellic just shrugs and gestures at the zombie.
So I'm going to say you kind of edge to the side. Teresa, do you order one of the zombies to try and... how do you...
Yes.
Yeah, what do you do? Sorry.
I'm going to order it to go into the pit and go straight toward the cube.
Okay. So the first zombie, I'm going to say it's the one with the weird name that I didn't understand. It kind of shuffles forward and walks off the edge, and it falls 30 feet. So it takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage from the fall itself. So let me do that.
Let me see. Because it has boosted stats here. Hold on.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I just grabbed
whenever you
zombie
create
tokens.
That's fine. Whenever you create an undead using a necromancy spell, its max HP is increased by 7, and it adds +3 to weapon damage rolls.
Okay, so let me do some quick math here. 2 plus 7, and so I'd add 29. Don't mind any numbers that bounce on the screen for a moment. Okay, so it has 29 hit points, because it's a zombie plus 7 HP. So it's going to take, let's see, it doesn't have damage resistances, so it's going to take 13 damage from the fall, because that's what I rolled. And then I need it to make a dexterity save. So I don't know, you can roll, do you want me to roll that for you, or do you just, it's got a...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, okay, I'm going to roll it for you. It's a -2 modifier, just so you know. So I'm going to roll it normal. Whew, okay, it failed the dexterity save. On a failed save, 1d4 stakes impale it. So let's roll a 1d4. That's 3 for 1d6 piercing damage per stake. So that's 6 stakes. So that's 6 more damage. So it is... Well, it's a good thing you had that extra hit points, huh? Sorry, let me do this. So let's see here. You're a zombie. As soon as I can... Oh my gosh. -6.
Wait, so this is like really tight then, and not spread out like the map implies, right?
So you now know that if you fall and fail a dexterity, if you fall into this pit and don't dodge well, you're going to get impaled by 1 to 4 stakes. So yeah, they're a little tighter than the image, I guess. So this zombie has fallen. It is impaled on 3 different stakes and is just kind of writhing on those stakes, going.
Alrighty. Well, order it to try and get itself off the stakes. In the meantime...
I'm going to roll an acrobatics check just to see if it can do that for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
I'm going to say, yeah, sure, we'll just do normal. No. Wow, that's fantastic rolling. I swear to God, I'm not altering these rolls. They're just the rolls. So yeah, it's just kind of flailing about on that stake. He's down there.
Oh, what a waste. Well, at least we know what happens if you were to jump down. perhaps it would be more prudent to take the boards on the side.
I agree.
Kellic just shakes his head and like flies over.
Cool. You land on the other side.
I want to inspect the cube to see if there's any like traps or like issues with it. Perception, I guess.
Okay, so at a 25, you notice there's definitely some sort of mechanism that will trigger if you lift this cube off the pedestal. The cube itself, sorry, just to give you a description, the cube itself it's like a 6-sided die, basically, about fist-sized, and on each side it has a carving of a frog-looking thing with tentacles coming off of it. It's sitting on the pedestal, and you notice as you inspect it that there's certainly some sort of trigger mechanism tied to that cube that if you just lift it off, something's going to happen. Or at least there's a trigger that will be triggered.
Okay.
It's kind of resting on like a circular little, you can see that there's a little circular cylinder that's the same level as the stone around it that the cube is sitting on. Almost as if it might be a pressure plate of some sort.
Interesting.
Ba, 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 ba,
Yeah,
ba.
classic swap.
What was that?
The classic swap maneuver. You gotta find equal weight. Well, I guess I'm gonna keep trying to like move over. I'll hop along the boards.
So each 5 feet you want to move, you're going to have to make a dexterity check. I'm sorry, an acrobatics check. To see if you can successfully jump from beam to beam.
Boy. Oh boy.
So your first beam that you jump onto, you successfully land on it.
Oh, nice.
I don't trust myself to make good rolls today, so Teresa's gonna stay here and watch.
Maybe the dexterity checks with falling into a pit of spikes is not a good wizard check.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have the fly spell just yet.
Yep. So if you want to keep going, Teddy, you're going to have to go around the perimeter of the room.
Right. Well, before I do that, so do we have a plan? Like, obviously we want this cube. So what's our plan? Do we want to like try and do a swap thing, or are we just gonna take it and then deal with the consequences?
I would like to swap it for something.
Well, do we know how heavy the cube is?
Like, if Sebastian was here, I'd ask him how heavy the one he has is, but...
Oh, man.
I mean, as I
Like
we can play it as if Sebastian could tell you that. Like, I don't want to punish you for him not being here.
Yeah,
So
that's
he
fine.
can kind of heft it and like, oh, it's approximately an arbitrary weight. Where arbitrary is the weight that he thinks it is, because I don't have a number for the weight of the cube.
I was gonna say, let's like get a stone from out here, from these broken pillars, and replace it with a cube.
I like that idea. So we had to find an arbitrary weight stone.
Arbitrary weight is my way of just saying that it has a weight. You know how much the cube he has weighs. It's 3 pounds. There.
So I will come outside, and I will order my other Zambino to go in the water and get a stone that I assume is 3 pounds.
Give me one moment, and I will answer that. Sorry, I have to step away for just a second. Okay, let's see. So, is the zombie just gonna kind of walk down those decrepit stairs, wooden stairs, into the pool to try and find a stone?
Yes, and bring it back to me.
Okay. So I'm gonna move the zombie a little bit. That's drawing, not moving zombies. As the zombie gets down to the edge of this and kind of starts sloshing into, it sinks in deeper than you would think. It sinks down to about chest height here, and then you see it jerk, and then you see it disappear under the water.
Ah, great. There's something inside of the water. Who would have
Were you not here when I shot the eyeball?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, there's something in the water. Do you want to...
Okay. No, I wasn't here. I had to wash dishes.
Oh, yeah, there's something that had an eye stalk sticking out of the water. Kellic shot it, and the eye stalk shot down under the water, and then there was ripples as whatever the eye stalk was attached to moved. So,
Okay.
do you want to retcon sending the zombie in?
Yeah. I'll just have the zombie get like a let's do like a log or something in this wooded area around here.
Like you find an object approximately 3 pounds in weight?
Yeah.
Okay. You successfully do so.
So, Kellic, try this, and she holds up the piece of wood.
I'll fly over, grab it from her, and then fly back over.
Cool. You successfully do so.
I'm gonna hop back onto the main
platform. So, as you hop off that beam, it retracts into the wall after you hop off it.
Yeah, I knew it.
So where that blue X is, there are no longer anythings to jump on there. So it's actually like a 7-foot jump to get to the other end now.
Gotcha.
Oh, look who it is.
Well, well, well.
Well, well, well. If it isn't the Upside Down Man.
You guys better come up with a plan before Saturday, otherwise I'm going to split the timelines. But
Sarah comes back with a possibly undead crew and starts pillaging the coast. Something like that.
okay, cool. So anyway, Kellic, Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Or should I say Zindala? Or, no, what's your name now?
Xanthiel.
Xanthiel. I knew it was starting with an X, but sounding like a Z. Anyway.
X's make things more complicated.
Oh, hey, everybody in Thursday. Sarah's gone. She got possessed by the Ring of Winter and sailed off with a pirate crew. I haven't posted the
died.
video.
Lol.
Lol.
I haven't
In
posted.
fairness, it's only wiped out another village, so.
So anyway, Kellic, you have the piece of wood. Are you going to do the thing?
Yeah, can I do like a sleight of hand roll to
Yep,
swap them?
You can totally do a sleight of hand roll.
Oh man, today is that kind of day for low rolls.
Rip that sleight of hand.
So you grab the cube gingerly in one hand, and you have the wood in the other, and you try to swap them, and you hear a clunk, and there's a grinding sound from the door, and nothing happens. All of the carved frog mouths around the perimeter of this room, they open and they begin releasing this green, thick colored gas into the room. What do you guys do?
Great.
Well, I feel like I would just immediately fly back over to the door.
Well, didn't you check for traps or something?
Yeah, and I knew there was a trap. That's why we knew there was a pressure plate.
So
what do you guys do? You got
Yeah.
you got 6 seconds to decide what you do. Teresa, what do you do?
Teresa's gonna try and break the door with mechanical spell.
Well, the doors, like, nothing happened to the door.
So the hole in the door is still there.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, she's going to push the Zambino out of the door and then get out herself.
Cool. Let me stop drawing things on the map because I keep forgetting. Oh my god. Come on. Click accept. Okay, Zambino gets pushed out. You're out. Kellic, you come out. Teddy, what do you do? You come out. Cool. So as you guys are leaving, that thick green gas is filling the room. Let me look at the zombie. Oh, cool. So the zombie is immune to the gas because zombies are immune to poison. So the shrine, you guys can see just traces of that gas are leaking out from it. However, Kellic, you have the cube in your hand.
I'll just inspect it and see if there's any, like, latches or like ways to open it, or if there are any, like, obvious lids.
It appears to be a solid piece of stone with a carving of a frog with tentacles coming off of it.
Okay, well, then after inspecting it, I'm gonna hand it to Sebastian and wander off without another thought.
Cool. And so Orvex is standing out here rapidly scribbling. Could you describe to me what has happened inside of that chamber? I heard sounds. What is happening?
We took the cube, and now there's green gas spewing everywhere.
The frog statue thing started spewing some sort of green substance. And we got out of there as soon as we could. Although I'm just a little disappointed that I lost one of my zombies, but There's plenty of those around.
From inside you hear, and
Oh man.
Orvex is saying, fascinating, fascinating. I did not think a simple pressure plate swap trap would be the extent of this. Fascinating. And he's just like scribbling furiously in his book. After a few minutes of writing, he snaps at Chet and says, "Ah, well, it appears you have solved this shrine. You have the cube. Shall we continue on?"
Of course, I'd like to be away from this place.
Kellic will just simply say yes and then bird blink. Like, kind of like, what the heck is taking so long, y'all?
Okay. So I'll take us back to the map. Oh, hey. Let me do something. Bam. And no, really? Come on. Things are slow. I hope this map reloads. So you guys found Kubazan's shrine. And that is where you are. Is this loading for anybody besides me?
Yep. I'm
Cool.
here.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is probably our next target. So I would say, and then I want to check this building right here, see if there's anything interesting, but then make a quick run across the road if there isn't anything and go into whatever that building is. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I like that.
So let me...
Why do you want to stop in that one building?
Do you not see if there's like stuff here that we could benefit from?
Oh, okay. I just...
I'm all about finding new and interesting stuff.
So you get up to that building, and you want to investigate the one where the blue line ends?
Yep.
Okay, so give me a perception check. And then roll a D100. It's the very furthest one over at the bottom of the screen. That didn't work. Okay. So as you investigate that building, you don't see. You see a lot of ruins. You see moldering furniture and overgrown, almost like I don't know if any of you have played The Last of Us, but the inside of that building looks like any of the Last of Us games. It's pretty much overgrown and disrepaired, and there doesn't appear to be anything of value you can see from kind of a basic level inspection of the building.
Yeah, let's move on. I'd say let's go on to the highway.
Should we at least check the one across the road out first? Because it's another walled compound, so I have a feeling it's going to be something important.
Sure.
And give me a perception check. And roll another D100. So as you poke around this building, Kellic, you fly over the compound wall and kind of land on the roof. As your claws just start to touch the roof, the whole thing begins to collapse underneath you. You flap upwards and are able to kind of hover, but can you roll D100 again for me? As you fly upwards and kind of hover, you can see a handful of very large vines that start to writhe a little bit as you flap upwards. What do you do? Kind of as the ceiling collapses, you can see in the walls, in the space beneath, there are some vines beginning to writhe as the stones and stucco fall down into them.
I just, like, fly higher to stay out of their reach and try to observe what happens as the roof falls in.
So the roof collapses, or about a 10-foot section of it collapses from your touching it. As all the chunks fall down, the vines kind of writhe around. A few little tendrils of vine reach out and inspect the rubble as it settles, and then withdraw, and the vines go still.
Okay. Well, I'll fly back down to the group and tell them about the vines that were in there.
Well, if you'd like to, if you want to explore further, I have a way to get rid of the vines.
Kellett looks very interested.
So I have this spell. Light. Just because Teresa learned that some plants in this jungle are not normal plants, so to speak. So it's good to have some way to get rid of them quickly.
Yeah, that's a really useful spell.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. Okay. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? Do you want to cast that on the various vines in there, or what do you want to do?
Well, do you guys want to go inside, or do we just want to keep going?
I mean, Kellett wants to go explore everything, so if you're
Alright.
willing to cast it, then he'll definitely go inside. Yeah, like,
Sure.
It clears him.
Sure. Alrighty, so then Teresa will go in with her Zambino. Use the Zambino to distract the vines. Look for the source of the vines and cast Blight on it.
Grim, does anything happen?
Am I muted this whole time? God damn it. I'm sorry. I was muted the whole time. So I am going to assume that Teresa, you and Zambino kind of go around to where the doorway is on the east side of this building.
Yes.
And so you hold back, I'm assuming, and send in Zambino towards the shaft of sunlight coming down. as it gets into the center of this doorway, a bunch of tendrils whip out and grasp around Zambino, and it will take 11. It kind of just gets torn apart by tendrils coming from 3 different directions around the interior of this building. So you have a pretty good idea of where the tendrils are all coming from. And I'll say if you want to cast Blight in there, you can probably hit what you think is the source of most of the tentacles.
Sure.
So you do that. Let's see here. So I need to make some saving throws. What are these? Oh boy. Let's see here. The targets make Constitution saving throws against a DC 15.
And they have disadvantage from their plants.
That's 1. That's 2. Well, I don't think anybody saves on that. Let's see here. So what is the maximum damage of 8d8? 64?
Yeah.
So... Yep. So you blast, you think 3 different assassin vines. I don't know if you know what those are as a character, but these are you see all these tendrils kind of wither and die. You hear some rustling from within after the effects of your spell fade. So you probably did not kill wherever those tentacles came from, but your spell definitely damaged them.
So she'll let them know that there is definitely something inside, and even my spell didn't immediately kill it, so be wary.
Interesting.
But the vines, have they receded to
So
the point where we can go inside?
I mean, the tendrils that were attacking the rubble and the zombie are gone. Your zombie is unfortunately now in pieces.
Okay. Well, Kellic, Theodora, do you want to explore?
If I approach the door, can I see anything moving inside, or any vines or anything like that in there?
So you have...
I have dark vision.
Yeah, I have to look at something. So as you look into the dimly lit space, you can make out all the features in there. At this point, you don't see anything in particular that looks suspicious to you. You see a whole bunch of different overgrown plants, but you can't distinguish any of them as being necessarily anything hostile.
I'll just look at I'll look at everybody and just say that we can't really go in there. It's too dangerous still.
I figured.
Like, I wish we could, but there's no way to ensure our own safety.
We can always set things on fire.
Yeah, but then whatever was in there will no longer be.
I mean, maybe we can approach that again later when we have more people with us.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. She walks back to the highway.
Where should we go next?
Well, probably by this campfire over here.
Works for me.
Let's go.
Cool. Let me I don't know why I just did that. It's just okay. Sorry. I don't know why I did that.
I mean, is it an active campfire that we could see smoke from where we were?
No, so I'll say as you pass that area of the road, you can see that there is a campsite there. It's an abandoned or an old campsite, but it was definitely a campsite.
I would like to investigate. I'm curious about what happened to the adventurer that came in here before us. And if there's any bodies around.
Sure. So you approach the campsite. Oh, pardon me. My week is catching up with me. So amid all the ruins here, you're in kind of a little clearing between all these buildings. There's an abandoned campsite with torn backpacks and rotted gear littering the ground around 3 moldering tents. At the center of the camp, you see a scrap of a piece of dirty yellow cloth that looks fairly familiar at this point, hanging from a crude wooden flagpole.
Wait, so the mercenaries came in here?
It would seem so.
Is there any sign of how old this campsite is?
You could make probably an investigation or maybe a nature check.
There we go.
Yeah, so it looks like this is probably about a week and a half old from your best guess as to yeah, it looks about a week and a half old is probably as much as you're able to figure out. And let's see, the yellow banner is the same as the banner that you found when you were at the campsite about a week outside of Omu, where you found the letter from the paladin and his group that had said they were heading towards Omu.
So those adventurers got this far. That's impressive. Are there any tracks or anything in my investigation, or do I have to roll? What's it called?
Yeah.
Actually, Kelly, do you think you could find any tracks, fly up in the air and see if there's any signs of tracks leading out of this area?
I remind everyone that I can't go very high, but yes, I will go up and check for tracks.
So say, well, you head up Kellic and begin looking. Teresa, as part of your investigations, you find another letter left behind in one of those moldering tents, and I've just shared it to everybody. I'll just read it out loud so that everybody hears it. So it says, Rue, Devlin has a lead on the Eye of Zoltek. The old goat found an obelisk in the north that marks the entrance to the Tomb of the 9 Gods. The eye must be within, but the door is magically locked. We think the secret to opening it lies in the holy shrines. We are headed into the ruins to check them out. Gods willing, we'll be back tonight. Raz and C's serpent people are on the prowl, so be careful. If you get into trouble, sound the swan horn twice and we'll come running. For the Yellow Banner, Lord Brixton. Kellic, as you are flying around, you do manage to make out a path heading back to the main road. It's almost gone, but it does lead back to that main road that you guys were walking on before you found this camp.
Okay, well, I'll just come back and tell everyone they appear to go back to the main road, and once on concrete, or once on stone, I can't tell.
So there's a letter here, and out of character, Lord Brixton. That sounds familiar. Is that the
It's the same guy.
Okay, that's the because I think I started when the group went into a base camp.
No. So Lord Brixton is the same letter writer as the one who left a letter that you found at that camp about a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a similar yellow flag there, and a letter from Lord Brixton about how they were coming to Omu to follow up on their friend, who had been, they think, kidnapped. And so now you also found this letter from Lord Brixton. Same guy.
Okay. All right. So So these guys are determined to find their friend, and this Eye of Zotur or something. But given that they were in a rush when I found that other letter, I wonder if they've gotten very far.
I mean, they didn't collect. Doesn't seem like they did a whole lot in the previous shrines that we've gone to, so I imagine that they didn't complete their quests at all.
Right, because we have what I'm assuming the holy item is the cube. We have 2 of those.
Mm-hmm. I imagine they would have had to have collected those if they were going to try and go into the tunnel or whatever it is.
Right. So, with that being said, I think that we should also try to find the rest of these cubes. Perhaps we might gain some sort of boon for using them. That, or we can bargain with the adventuring party if we ever find them.
Let's go!
Okay, alrighty. So, if there isn't anything else to do here, I'm going to come back onto the highway.
I will say it is, just from a timing perspective, I'll say it has taken most of the day to hack through between Kubazan's shrine, kind of hacking through the overgrown brush to get back to the thoroughfare and getting up here. It is getting towards late afternoon, so just pointing that out if it matters, just so that we have some passage of time here. So yeah, where do you guys want to go, or what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I was looking at this building over here. Or we can come back over here, because I noticed that there's like a little tree bridge over here.
I would say go to the one that's the closest to us up above. But do we need to rest, or is everyone cool?
I would prefer to rest just to get my spell slots back.
Kellic has no issue with that.
All right.
So, yeah, let's find like a place that has a roof. so that I can drop down a tiny hut.
We just check out one of the buildings for next to us, right?
Yeah, we could. We could try and find a place that seems secure enough.
Sure. Pick a building and tell me what you do.
Honestly, probably like a small building. Let's see. Maybe like we go up the alleyway here, somewhere over here.
Okay, so it takes probably 20-30 minutes to hack your way up. You find a building up there that looks nondescript. Give me a perception check as you kind of check out the building.
Oh, I have proficiency, but I roll a 1.
Teddy, can you roll a D100 for me? As you start to investigate this building, you notice that the floor looks pretty weak. Like if you guys go inside, you're not sure you can actually put everybody's bedrolls down there and not have the wooden remains in this building actually support all of you. What do you want to do?
I say that I don't think we can sleep in this building. It looks like it's about to fall apart. Let's check the next one. Because it seems like there's like a whole row of buildings to check.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure. So you guys go up to the next one.
Yeah.
If you all take a look at it, just give me a perception check. I'm just seeing who has the highest perception check on this. Hey, Teresa. As you start to investigate the building, can you roll a D100 for me? So you notice that as you get close to the door of the next building, you hear kind of weird chittery sounds. And as you move up to the doorway and kind of look through without going in, you see a whole bunch of those 2 to 3 foot tall, kind of Groot-looking, weird fungus tree people inside, kind of meandering about. It looks like you have found a Veggie Pygmy tribal hideout, if you will. The decision of what to do next is up to you. There's you can see about 6 of the pygmies from where you are. But as the roof is still intact and it fades into darkness, you're not sure if there's more further in.
And the last time that we saw these things, they were tossing one of their own over the cliff into the lava, right?
Yeah, so there was a whole pile of them, probably 20 or 30, that threw a grung, a frog person, into the lava pit.
Oh, they were throwing a grung. Okay. Well then, so these plant things are not opposed to throwing humanoids down to their deaths. I say we kill them and take this space. What do you say?
Ooh.
Keller just kind of shrugs and like goes to string his bow.
Because if we leave them alone, they might follow our tracks, and the next time we set down the night, as soon as we step out of my tiny hut, they might be waiting for us. I don't like the idea of being really close to these savages.
All right.
Now, is there a way to bring the roof down on them?
But don't we want the structure?
Well, I can't really see how many there are. Who has dark vision?
I don't.
Can they see more?
Do you peek in, Kellic?
Sure.
There's probably about somewhere between 10 and 15 Veggie Pygmies milling about inside. They're small and kind of moving back and forth a bunch, and so it's well, you can make them out. There's about somewhere between 10 and 15 of them in there.
Part of me feels like we should find a different place, because if we try and kill them, I don't know. I feel like that's gonna start a whole thing here. Like that'll definitely draw attention to us, as opposed to us just like moving on and trying to find a new place. If we have like a bunch of buildings. But I'm also down to attack them.
So did everybody just say they were going to attack? Kellic's strang his bow, Teresa wants to attack, and Teddy's okay with attacking. So are you guys attacking?
Yes.
Cool. Let me... Random map. Getting rid of the letter. Let me move some stuff around right quick. Where are you guys? Kellic. Pow. Teresa. Pow. Teddy. Pow. You guys see yourselves on the map?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't have walls built here, so where all of those Veggie Pygmies are, that's inside the building. The
That's fine.
doorway's that 2 spaces. I'm just gonna add everybody into combat. And then I'm gonna roll for the Veggie Pygmies. You guys wanna roll some initiatives? Turtle. Turtle. Owen.
Yeah. Sorry, it's like slowing down on me for a second.
Cool. Kellic, you get to make the first move.
Okay. Alright, well, bonus action, I'm gonna Hunter's Mark this guy.
Okay.
I'm just gonna start shooting.
Pew pew.
And then I came in blasting.
So that's your first shot for 5. Plus 2 is 6. Plus 2 is... That's that extra bonus damage on the first attack, right?
That's correct.
So that's a total of 9. Congratulations. You, with one arrow, just skewered that Veggie Pygmy into the ground, and it's twitching.
That was with a 1 on my damage roll. Alright, well, I'm gonna shoot the one behind it.
Okay.
That should delete him.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You have been
And that one next.
deleted.
Really?
So that'll hit for which one? The one behind him too. Oh, the one up there? Okay, that is 5 damage to that guy. So your arrow kind of lops one of his weird fungal caps off and hurts pretty bad, but he is not dead.
I'm also going to take a step back as well.
Okay,
And that's my turn.
so then it is the Veggie Pygmies. I'm moving them all at once. Let's see here. They have a range of... Let's see. 1, 2, 3. You hear kind of weird guttural chittering noises as these guys surge forward.
Seems like a great opportunity for a fireball.
10, 10, 10. Okay, so let's see here. 1, 2. What is their attack? Teddy, as 2 of them lay into you, I'm gonna say that with their flurry of attacks, you take about 4 damage from that. Because I'm not rolling, I'm just kind of averaging out. And then Teresa, those ones that attack you, they do about the same as they're flurrying at you. So you take about 4 damage, because I don't feel like rolling a ton of dice for a whole bunch of guys, if that's okay with you all.
Alright.
And then this one over here that you shot, Kellic, his... Oops, that was the wrong number. His weird fungal cap head thing starts to kind of grow back, and the arrow pushes out and falls to the ground as it seems to heal a bit. It is Teresa's turn. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It just does the concentration thing. Anytime you cast a spell, I think it ticks that on.
Alrighty, and so... So I'm going to do Scorching Ray on these guys. First, the one in front of me.
Okay.
You don't have fireball?
No,
Oof.
That's a
Not
crit.
rib.
You just
yeah, but I
yeeted
rolled a 1. Jesus.
you just yeeted a Veggie Pygmy out of existence with that Scorching Ray. Just there's nothing left. Just so bye bye.
And then the other one to my right.
So the one kind of northwest of you.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeet number 2. So you've you're very good at grilling portobello mushrooms right now. So that's 1 and 2.
And the other one to the south of me. Oh man, that's terrible.
That
Our
one.
damage rolls today. Not good.
That Veggie Pygmy, after seeing his 2 compatriots, or its 2 compatriots, getting just incinerated, kind of dodges out of the way of that ray, and it sails back into the bushes behind it.
Right. I'm gonna take the chance and
Cool. So I will roll this because it's going to try and make a claw attack at you. Wow.
that's
Jesus. It's the best Veggie Pygmy attack in the history of Veggie Pygmy attacks right there. Yeah, so I'm guessing it gets a nice slash in on you.
And that's my turn.
Cool. Teddy.
I'm going to, for bonus action, I'm going to cast the spiritual weapon.
Let me find a spirit corn. Where do you want to put it?
Sorry, I want to put it right. You see where I'm like, or no?
There. Did that appear in the correct place?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
And then,
So you get
and
an
then,
attack with the Spiracorn and an action.
yeah, so I'm gonna attack.
The Spiracorn does have an attack on it, if you want to just roll it from the Spiracorn. Hey! So you summon this glowing acorn, and it smashes into and annihilates the head of that Veggie Pygmy, and that one's gone.
Nice.
So you just Spiracorned a Veggie Pygmy into non-existence. Would you like to take a movement or an action?
Yeah, so for my action, I'm gonna take my mace. I'm gonna whack the one right in front of me.
Okay, make your attack roll. Oof. Yeah, so your mace falls squarely into this guy and lands a pretty nice walloping blow. If Veggie Pygmies had blood, he would be bloodied, but you know, you more just get a really satisfying thunk of your mace, but it is still going. Would you like to move?
Yeah, and I'm gonna move up. I'm gonna move. Let's see, move over. Wait, let's back up. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go.
By the way, please remember that you were the tank.
Yeah.
And you just ran away.
I got a plan. Also, I think we're gonna be all right here.
Well, it is Kellick's turn.
So,
For future reference, you probably don't want to open a line of attack against the caster. Just as a general strategic consideration.
Teresa dead center as like the biggest target, and she's by far the weakest one, like physically.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't know if it'll matter in this fight, but against like CR appropriate stuff, most things will kill Teresa in 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Teresa's kind of a wet tissue. No offense, but like from a hit point
Yeah,
perspective.
that's true. I don't have a lot of AC.
She has 12 AC and 44 hit points, so wow, you're getting up there, but yeah. Anyway, Kellick, you shooting the guy in front of you?
Are those two alive?
Yes, they're both alive. So which one? Doesn't matter. You miss on the first shot. Your second shot. Guess what? You yeeted a Veggie Pygmy. That one is gone.
Apparently that was the one that was in the turn order.
Nope. Well, I'm just going to move him after, I think, Teresa was what it was.
Yeah, it was after Teresa. Sorry about that.
Yeah. It's just how fate works. So that's action. Do you bonus act or move?
Give me 1 second. Hold on. No.
Okay. So I think it would be Teresa's turn then. I'm just gonna hit the button. Teresa, it is your turn.
Alright. Gonna Eldritch Blast these things here, so let's start with the one that is over here.
So for a point of order, just so you know, this one that I'm pinging, you guys can't see right now.
Yeah, it's behind a wall.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to point that out. Sure, Eldritch Blast. Oof. So that does 8 damage, almost. You blast about half of the force rips about half of that pygmy off of itself and kind of sends it spinning into the wall behind it, but the rest of that veggie pygmy is still hanging on by a thread.
Okay. I guess I will use my other one on it then. Oh man.
Ooh, that goes through the same space of the prior blast. So unfortunately it has no effect, although you hit your target, it just kind of blasts through the chunk of the pygmy that is already gone. So good accuracy, but not quite the outcome you were hoping for.
All right.
So that's
Let me just move over here so I can see more. I'll come over here. I should be. Well, I don't think so. Can I see like part of it?
I mean, not really. It's kind of hidden at this point.
Okay.
So this is just a random map I had in case we had incidental combat,
Okay.
so I didn't put walls in. You did just move closer to the pygmy, and they go next.
Okay.
It's my turn now.
No, so the pygmies happen after Teresa, I think, because of the turn order.
Yeah, they did.
So it is now the pygmies' turn. What are they gonna do? How smart are they? Okay. So after seeing most of their number annihilated, the pygmies are going to actually start trying to run away into the ruins. Let's see, this guy's going to come down here. This guy, oh, how does that work? This guy is going to heal a little bit. The one that you... Oh, god damn it. There we go. Teresa, the one you blasted, as you see it running away, kind of starts growing back the chunks of its body that you blasted out. And this guy is going to kind of run away and be completely hidden by the walls and the plants. So, at the end of the Veggie Pygmy's turn of running away, Teddy, you know one went out, or you know that one went into the building over here. You know one is running away to the north, and the one that ran away to the south you cannot see anymore. And it is your turn.
Okay. I mean, obviously everyone saw that, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna move. There.
So I'm going to say the Veggie Pygmy to the kind of southwest of you is kind of through partial cover. So it's yeah.
Okay.
You're kind of chasing it into the building, and you see it dart out that doorway to the back, and you can just see it running away.
I mean, I think we just let him run.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I don't think we're necessarily going to catch up to them. I mean, we could in like 2 turns or whatever, but
They're going to be off the map.
all right. I guess I'll move my spear corn the 20 feet it can go, and then I guess I'll end my turn.
Okay. Kellic, what you want to do?
I'm just going to enter the building and end my turn. Like, I think it's end of combat.
Okay. Teresa, do you want to do anything?
I can still see this one over here in the north.
Yep, you can see it running away.
Sure, I'll fire on him. 14 hits?
Yeah, is that another Eldritch Blast? Sorry, I'm just trying to... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will kind of pulp that Veggie Pygmy to the north. You this time you do not miss, and just kind of... And it just kind of blasts apart into little chunks of fungus and wood, kind of twitching in the brush up there.
Sure. So I'm going to follow them and go inside.
Just getting inside the building.
Yes.
Cool. The other 2 pygmies do disappear from your sight, running away. You can hear them kind of moving in the underbrush, and I'm going to say that is the
Okay.
end of combat. You can see now that you are all standing inside this ruined, darkened building. Dusk is starting to fall outside. What would you guys like to do?
Well, Teresa suggests that if you want to start a campfire, you should do so now. Meanwhile, she's going to pick a spot, probably in the center of the room, and she's going to cast. I'm going to use my last spell slot here to do Lynn's Tiny Hut.
Cool. So Kellic, you throw the cordon of arrows down, kind of in the same place that she's putting the hut, so that if anything attacks it while you guys are in there, it goes...
That is correct.
Cool. I like it.
Let's see. I'll put it right here.
Awesome. Great. You guys have your nice little tiny hut with a cordon of arrows outside of it.
I think we take a long rest.
Yeah, and I think I'm about to pass out.
I'm going to show you a long rest.
Yeah, I'll show you a long rest while I yawn and fall asleep in my chair. So I think from that perspective, it's about 11:40 almost, so it's a good place to stop it. So I'll hit the button. But thank you guys. Yeah, thank you much.
Yeah, thanks for
So,
All right.